Hey guys, and welcome back to Simple Confections. Today I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take a recipe from this book called Veggie Desserts Cakes by Kate Hackworthy. Wow, that's a tongue twister. But her book is actually very unique because she adds veggies into her desserts. And today I'm going to show you how to make a pea and vanilla cake, and this is her recipe. And this is why this cake is so green. It's made out of sweet green peas. This is my first time trying it, and it sounds really, really interesting. And you know, we're all trying to be healthier nowadays, so why not, right? So let's get started. All right, guys, let's gather our ingredients. First, you're gonna need some pea puree, and I'm gonna show you how to make that in a minute. 200 grams or 3/4 cup of unsalted butter softened, 150 grams or 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, 3 large eggs room temperature, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, zest and juice of half a lemon, 250 grams or 2 cups of plain all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt. Okay, and for the icing, you're going to need 150 grams or 2/3 cup of unsalted butter softened, 300 grams of powdered sugar, and a zest and juice of half a lemon. For this recipe, I'm going to use an 8-inch cake pan, but in her book, she uses 3 6-inch cake pans. So for the pea puree, you're going to need 275 grams or 1 3/4 cups of fresh or frozen peas. Boil the peas for a few minutes, drain it, run it under cold water and drain it again. Puree with blender, hand blender, or food processor. All right, guys, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is take your room temperature butter and your sugar, put it in a large bowl. And take your electric mixer and mix this up until light and fluffy. Start on low and then make your way up to medium. Now that it's light and fluffy, you're gonna take your eggs one at a time and incorporate it into the butter and sugar mixture. Guys, remember to take a spatula and scrape down the bowl from time to time and then keep mixing. It might look curdly, but just keep mixing. All right, now that you've beaten all the eggs, you're gonna add your pea puree. Ooh, look at that gorgeous green color. It kind of looks scary when it's going into a cake though. All right, your lemon zest and your lemon juice, and also your vanilla extract. Okay. And then mix these all up together. Remember, start on low. Oops, sorry about that, guys. I went ahead and continued without recording, but I caught myself, luckily. So now you're gonna put your flour mixture, your baking powder, and your salt all in. And you're gonna gently fold it with your spatula. Don't use the electric mixer at this point because you don't wanna over mix it. So I would just hand mix it at this point. So once it's all combined, then we can put it in our baking pan. All right, guys, look how pretty the mixture is. It's such a nice green. Okay, so once you don't see any flour left over, that means you're done. You can stop mixing and take your pan. I have an 8x3. But the recipe in the book calls for 3 6-inch pans, but I don't have that right now, so I'm just gonna use whatever I have available. And I also cut out a piece of parchment and put it on the bottom just to ensure that this cake comes out, and also some baking spray. I'm just gonna coat the pan and dump it in. Okay, so if you have a spatula, like a little spatula, I would use it. If you don't, it's okay. Just take a knife, like a butter knife or something, and even this out. Yay, now we're gonna put this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so while we're waiting for the cake to finish baking, we're gonna make our icing. So we're gonna combine the powdered sugar and the butter, put it in a large bowl, and then use a electric mixer again and beat it until it's combined. Guys, let me emphasize, start low because yeah, you're gonna have a really big mess if you start on high. Okay, and at this point, I'm gonna add my lemon juice and lemon zest, and I'm also gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I like my frosting to have a little bit of vanilla in it. And voila, there you have it. There's your vanilla icing. If you like your vanilla icing a little bit thinner, you can definitely go ahead and add a little bit of milk or water to thin it out. But yeah, so now we're gonna put this aside. You can leave it in the fridge until your cake is baked and cooled. All right, it has been 55 minutes after, and I took this out of the oven, and look how pretty it is. So to test if it's ready, you would take a skewer and stick it down the middle and pull it out. And look, it comes out clean, a little bit of crumbs, but as long as you don't have wet batter on it, it is completely done. So now we're gonna let this sit and cool for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, we're gonna pop it out of the pan. So it's been about 10 minutes, and now we're gonna take this out of the pan. Be careful, it's still warm, so take a towel to protect your hand, flip it over, it should come out easily. Woohoo! All right, so now we're gonna let this sit for probably a couple of hours. You want this to be completely cool because when you put the icing on, you don't want it to melt. So let's be patient and wait for it to cool, and we'll be back. All right, guys, the cake is completely cooled. I transferred it over one of these cake spinners, but you don't really need this. I just have one handy. You could put the icing on top and around, but I'm actually gonna cut it in half, fill the middle, and then decorate it. This is completely optional, whatever you wanna do with it. I'm actually gonna fast forward this demonstration, and next time I'll create a more in-depth video on how to decorate cakes. So I'm just gonna fast forward this process, and after that, we could get tasting. All right, guys, and there we have it. We have the pea and vanilla cake. So I cut myself a piece. I've never had this before. This is my first time trying out this recipe. So let's give it a shot. All right, so here's the piece that I cut out. Look how pretty that is. That green is gorgeous. Look, okay.
It feels nice and moist. Oh my God. That's really good. All right, so I just put the peas up here for decoration. You don't really have to eat it, but wow. You can't taste any hint of greenery in this at all. Wow, that is actually really, really delicious. That lemon icing is perfect too with this. So if you have kids that hate veggies, you can hide it in this cake. I'm not suggesting that this is a serving of vegetables for, for anyone, but it's a good way to incorporate some vegetables into a dessert and you feel less guilty about serving your kids this stuff, but it's really, really good. So how I would describe the taste of this cake, it's basically a very delicious vanilla cake. You don't taste any peas in it at all. Since I know I added peas into this recipe, I feel less guilty about eating the whole slice. But next time, if you make this, have your family or friends guess what you put in it. Almost guaranteed they probably cannot guess what's in it. I mean, don't decorate it with peas because that's a dead giveaway. But yeah, try it next time and see what they say or see what they come up with. They'll probably think it's just green food coloring. And also, guys, I highly recommend this book. I think it's so much fun. She shows you other types of vegetables that you can use to incorporate into your dessert. I mean, summer's around the corner. If it makes you feel better about yourself eating more dessert, then hey, why not, right? So I'll add all the information down below about this book. And also, if you like what I did today, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and leave some comments down below. And always remember to end the day with something sweet, and I'll see you next time. Bye!